All right, guys, what is up? It is, what time is it? It is 11:56, almost 12 a.m. Another grind after working my regular job and then grinding out cards. So let me see, low power mode, appreciate it. So, okay, so I wanted to just share. So today was the first day that I did a Facebook Marketplace meetup. And long story short, I seen a post in my area. I was like, post said something like 500 plus cards, sports cards. It turned out to be all basketball. I'm like, all right, cool. Me and the guy are talking. I seen some of the cards posting. Well, like me and him were talking, and then throughout the conversation, it was like 500 plus cards, like pretty much like all RCs or some numbered good Hall of Famers and good current players. No fluff, no BS. I'm like, all right, cool. I think the guy posted it for, he had it at 375 and then posted it or chopped it on down to 250. Or no, it was, I forgot, but we had landed on 250. It's like, all right, cool. It's like 500 plus cards, rookies, some numbered patches. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 autos. Cool. All right. Nothing crazy, but some value. Cool. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Let's meet up on Sunday. We decide on a time. We go out there. Cool. I look throughout the cards. So it had said 500 plus. So then I asked him, what is like 600 or 700 cards or so. All right, fine. So then I'm looking through the box that he has. Is two boxes and then a bag. And in the bag is like 200 to 300 cards of like old school 1990s base in pristine condition, I would say, but just straight base. And I'm like, dude, like, you know, I'm thinking, I didn't say it like this, but I'm like, this is all boo-boo. Like, this is, I really gotta get really creative or find the right buyer that wants a ton of that base of this player that they used to love growing up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so I can't really use that. So it quickly chops on down from 500 to like, geez, like, in the one box that was decent cards, patches, like I seen a Paul Gasol on Memphis Grizzlies patch, game worn. I'm like, cool. You don't see that stuff every day. Or like a Baron Davis patch, or like a auto of Tony Allen from the old school Grizzlies. I'm like, okay, this is stuff that, all right. Not everything was like that, but there was a good like 80 other cards in that box that were okay, like I wouldn't say great, but like unusual, like stuff that maybe folks would buy. So 90s and the 2000s, that is my era, right? So the remainder of that box, there's like 45 cards that are like RCs and some like just base LeBrons and a few other things. Nothing crazy, but throw it up for $1 or $2. Cool. The other box had, it was like a tier below. Had certain RCs, a few okay players, nothing super crazy, but still doable. I would have to probably pull some lots together, 3 or 4 cards, sell it at 2, call it a day. Cool. So I'm like, man, I offered my first offer. He was like, nah. So we're going back and forth. Long story short, we end up on, I was like, yo, just for that one good box, I was like, let's do 100. I'm thinking of fees, and maybe it turned out to be, I think, like 80 something cents a card. I was like, all right, cool. I could do that. Even if they don't sell, I could put it in a lot and get something out of it. Cool. Most of it would sell probably $3 to $4, maybe an occasional $7 or $8. Cool. And he's like 115. I'm like, dude, I gotta stay firm at 100. And then he's like, all right, dude, 110. And I'm like, brother, I know what it's going to take. You're trying to get out of them because he found something else to sell. He said that the card market was it was just tough. And I agree. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of competition, saturated but doable. You just have to find your lane and do it. Cool. I was like, all right, I'm still firm. I gotta stay firm. I'm really starting to see, and I heard this before, you make money in cards on your purchase. You really do. So, example, just a quick little thing. I bought these cards right here. I bought these cards, probably, these set of cards, I wanna say around 45 bucks. And I could sell one card for 40, probably 2, 7. I'll take a better offer. This says 10, probably take like 7, just to cut a deal. And a Josh Hart auto that probably comps around 40 to 35 bucks. So I'm gonna make maybe probably 100% there. Cool. So you really have to buy correctly. If you buy incorrectly, you're already behind the ball. There's no way to come on back from you making a bad purchase. And I think this gentleman was trying to get out of his cards, probably made a bad purchase or thought that he was doing a good purchases, and just found out that the card market isn't just a quick, rich type of thing. You really have to grind out. You really have to study the systems, the algorithms of every platform, and just really study and know your stuff, or else it's not gonna work out. Long story short, trying to get it to be a shorter story, but long story short, we couldn't get the deal done over 10 bucks, which the reason why I'm making this video is twofold. I want to share my first experience about trying to get a deal, like a bulk deal done offline. Well, through Facebook Marketplace, but a meetup. And then the psychology of, I should have took that deal of 110. I would have probably profited after fees and everything. I would have probably doubled up, which is still fair for maybe on that single what not stream, maybe 2 to 3 hours. I make 150 bucks. Cool. For 2 to 3 hours, that's still solid. So my pride, a tiny bit, wanted to squeeze a little bit more, and maybe I didn't have to, just to be transparent. My wife has told me before, like, yo, dude, I get it. You're trying to find the best deal, but maybe feel it out and just know that you're already getting an okay deal. At $100 for, it was like 125 cards, it's still a decent deal for cards that will probably sell at least for $2. After fees, probably margin of maybe 30 or 40%, which is ultimately what I'm trying to get at. So the video was a two-part thing, because on the first is just an experience of mine, my first, and then second was just to share. I should have probably maybe just $8 to $10 accepted the deal at 110 and have those cards. So after that, me and the guy were talking. I was like, hey, if you want, come on back. I'll do it at 110. Long story short, the guy was like, nah, I feel like you're trying to play me. And I'm like, play you? How would I play you when you said 500 plus cards, all of good stuff, 300 of his cards, they were boo-boo. they were fluff, and he said that there was no fluff. So I'm saying that, and I'm like, I'm not feeling any type of way. This is business at the end of the day. You can be a collector and also an investor, but I'm on the investment side. So, I mean, it was experience. I tried to get him back into the fold, but we ended off our conversation as pretty good. I was like, dude, no hard feelings. I gotta call it like I see it. So, sorry to say it, but just because a person may have purchased wrongly doesn't mean you have to too, right? Doesn't mean that you have to compensate them for their efforts per se. Like, they made the mistake of maybe buying too many just base cards or boo-boo cards. That shouldn't be your issue to take them off of his hands at a price definitely that isn't worth it. So I was trying to just purchase at some point just the cards that I know that I could probably flip, but lost it over 10. So the psychology of knowing when you are getting a decent deal that you could live with and not having to squeeze every little thing out of it. And then just the overall experience of my first meetup. So appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. We're starting this journey from ground zero all the way to wherever God takes us. And I do mean Jesus Christ. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Peace. Carlo out. Easy.